Living in the desert, we are so blessed to be close to nature where we live here. And increasingly, I realized that without the earth, there's no art. And so little by little, I joined the Transition Joshua Tree permaculture team. I learned so much. And from that, this site developed. I'm Eva Soltes, and I'm the director of Harrison House, Music, Arts, and Ecology. Permaculture is permanent culture. So it's the design science for human habitation. So it's really looking at nature and seeing how does nature do it. So the way we deal with water on this property is through earthworks. And in a permaculture situation, you one time disturb the soil and then never again do it. And so it's really important to have observed it, to figure out where your water comes from, to trace it. You know, they say watch your surroundings for a year and understand all of those things, and then you act on it. So we traced our water flow from the lot above, and so each tree that is planted there has a big, at least 2-foot deep swale, and we call it a sponge swale. And it's filled with cardboard and straw and twigs, everything that will continue to make soil, and we cover it with mulch, and we keep replenishing the mulch. So if there's a great big rain, the water will drain from one, if it overflows, to the next, to the next, to the next, with overflows that go all the way around the property and into these swales down below. So in permaculture, the whole capture of the water and keeping it on your property is a really important part of it. So slow it, spread it, sink it. I think it's very surprising to a lot of people how much you can grow, and there have been a lot of experiments, things that get eaten right away. So we have this caged garden that we call the John Cage, and in there we have wicking beds. And so wicking beds are a way to definitely grow food in the desert because you're not losing a lot of water to evaporation. So we do the more fragile things in there, things that critters would really want to eat for sure. And in the other larger garden, we have corn, and we have potatoes, and we have onions, and we have amaranth, and we have lamb's quarter. I love the things that replant themselves, even though they're annuals. One thing that has just keeps replanting itself now for the 3rd year is Jerusalem artichokes. Same thing happened. We had a huge arugula patch that came from last year. So I'm so happy to nurture those things that want to be here. When we make compost, thermophilic compost, the chicken manure can really heat that compost up because it's one of the richest in nitrogen. They're Buff Orpingtons. They're a British breed. And again, I have never had chickens in my life. And it's one of the things that was really important to have as a permaculture site because it closes the loop in terms of being able to generate your own soil and to grow food successfully. So we rake their little pen, and when it's time to make the compost, we have everything, I'll put straw in there and alfalfa and just tons of greens and tons of everything. And so they're sort of making the compost as they go, and then we'll, gather it all up and then add it to other things. So chickens are wonderful, and they're entertaining. And you basically, it becomes sort of guilt-free in terms of your leftovers because they eat everything and then they make eggs out of them. They're just perfect recyclers. What it means to be desert wise to me is to really take account of what is given to you by nature in terms of the sun, the water, the wind, what plants are natives here, what you can eat, what are the gifts that you're given by the land. The advice that I give to people who come here who know nothing, like I once knew nothing, was Start really small. You don't have to do everything at once. Be kind to yourself. Once you start on that train of thought, that's the important thing. And then little by little, just develop the interest and educate yourself and look around and find out who's doing that kind of thing around you. We're always open here to people who want to come and tour the place and find out about, you know, simple things like wicking beds and to see what things really grow here. And that's how I started. It was the kindness of my community, you know, people willing to share. So, you know, start small and don't try to do everything at once, and really observe where you're living and don't act too quickly.